Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSPmagazine. Thank you for joining us for this conversation.
Blue Lava is the first business platform for CISOs to manage their security program. Blue Lava guides security leaders to effectively measure, optimize, and communicate their security program with confidence and ease in one platform. Learn more at bluelava.net. HITRUST is a leading data protection standards development and certification organization that strives to safeguard sensitive information and manage information risk for global organizations across all industries and throughout the third-party supply chain. Learn more at hitrustalliance.net. CrowdSec, the collaborative and open source cybersecurity solution. Analyze behaviors, respond to attacks, and share signals across the community for free. Let's make the internet safer together. Learn more at crowdsec.net.
Black Cloak provides concierge cybersecurity protection to corporate executives and high net worth individuals to protect against hacking, reputational loss, financial loss, and the impact of a corporate data breach. Learn more at blackcloak.io.
Modern application development needs modern application security. With our award-winning application security testing solutions, Checkmarx enables developers to securely accelerate their work. Learn more at checkmarx.com. AppViewX is trusted by the world's leading global organizations to reduce risk, ensure compliance, and increase visibility through machine identity management and application infrastructure security and orchestration. Learn more at appviewx.com.
Sean.
We're actually on video today.
We are?
And
Really?
we're not streaming live. This is a recorded video. I don't know if I might have to put some special effects. Can you see me transform?
I saw your transformation through the years. Starting
time
a long time ago. I've known you that long.
We won't talk about the direction of taking the transformation.
It's a transformation.
Positive or negative. Yeah.
We don't know where it started.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I think that probably sums up a lot of people's feelings for life the past couple of years, and I think we're all aching for a sense of real life and a chance to meet each other in person, and I don't know if we'll have those hugs just yet, but certainly the face-to-face, hey, how the heck are you, right? What have you been up to? What's going on? And of course, in the midst of all that, what are the latest threats? Well, how has business changed in terms of risk and security and policy and privacy?
Sean, that's a question that I don't get when I run into somebody I know, let's say at the grocery store, like, what's the risk level, or what's the next threat? But there is a place where we're going to be able to do that, and it's not going to even sound weird.
It is not going to sound weird. It's going to be very prominent and very important. Loads of conversations. People are probably going, what are you guys doing? If you're listening to the podcast, you have no idea what's going on. If you're looking at this, you'll see Linda, Britta, and Cecilia on from RSA Conference. And we're going to kick off our coverage with this conversation. Linda, Britta, Cecilia, it's great to have you on.
It's great to be here. And can you see all of our beaming faces? Like, we're all like this. When you're talking about June, we're like, yay!
That's right. It's just there. And we were talking before we started that you're up there kind of getting things organized.
Yeah.
For all the physical space. Marco, what do you think? Quick round of who everybody
round.
is? Yeah.
We know them very well, but there may be somebody
it's a tradition
that
to have
new.
this conversation. But Linda, we'll start with you.
Yes, so my name is Linda Glade Martin, and I'm the Vice President of RSA Conference. So I'm kind of responsible for it, working in tandem with this fantastic duo and many others.
And I'm Britta Glade. I am Senior Director of Content and Curation. So I have the wonderful opportunity of working with a myriad of amazing speakers from across the industry who come in to share their expertise and really, build the intellectual capital and that warm environment that is RSA Conference.
And I am Cecilia Marinier, and I run the Innovation, the Sandbox, and the Scholar programs, which are all going to be fabulous this year. A lot of hands-on activities, a lot of interaction. Again, the community just coming together and bringing the time and space to actually connect with each other and learn from each other. It's going to be a great experience this year.
People are so excited all over social media because, we had a little tease that it was going to happen earlier and then we had to postpone. So I feel like, was it maybe planned to create even more expectation? Like one of those advertising campaigns.
I don't know how much more you could build.
I know it's not.
No, it was not a marketing ploy, believe
me. I know. I'm aware of that. I'm just kidding. So I want to hear about everything you just quickly touched into, the place, how it's organized this year, talking about the education side of things. But as usual, I like to start with the theme. So the theme this year is transform. And we have seen so many different themes through the years, going from a more technology, more cybersecurity oriented, then to more humanity. So I feel transform is just the right word, maybe after these 2 years to get it started again.
Yeah.
So who wants to talk about that?
Well, I can definitely kick off, and it's interesting. It's our 2021 theme was actually resilience, which is a word, we know it means something for the industry as well as for all of us personally. And I think it probably became one of those most used words as we went through the pandemic. But transform just feels to us so relevant for where we all are. And I don't just mean professionally, I mean personally as well. We've all been through something the last couple of years. But I think looking at the conference itself, why it feels so relevant for us is that we come together at RSA Conference, we positively impact the world of cybersecurity, and we go through that transformation together. And it's that togetherness, it's bringing the community together in person again after this absence of physical events, big physical events for 2 years. So I think that's why we just feel it's so relevant. And like I said, we can't stop smiling when we think about bringing everybody together. There's just definitely that pent up need for us all together again in person.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's easy to mix resiliency and transform, at least in my mind, because it's very simple. But I often wonder, transform is more than just adjusting to your environment and your situation. It's actually thinking forward and perhaps even saying, this is what I want it to be, and how do I get there? So I don't know if any of that came through in content curation, perhaps, Britta?
Definitely. And we've heard within the industry about digital transformation for quite a while now. You look at how organizations, so yes, there's sessions on that. The Office of the BISO, which, very new-ish within organizations in the last couple of years, which also represents, it's a transformation as organizations, even the security function is moving from just a defensive technical posture to a, different business offerings. It's a one up within what organizations can do. I was actually, as Marco, you and Sean were talking at the beginning, Sean, I was picturing you as a little caterpillar who is emerging as a butterfly now, right? Which I think we're all little caterpillars somewhere, and some of us are butterflies, and some of us are in cocoon still, and some of us are at different places within our transformations. And that's what I, again, simple little brain that I have here. But that's the celebration I'm thinking of with RSA Conference. Even when I look at the graphical treatment of it, you might see origami shapes in there. You might see confetti that's been torn up and thrown, and we are really hoping that's what's reflected in the theme. That's what you see in the theme. That's what you experience when you're there, because we all are, transforming personally and professionally.
I like the caterpillar idea. Maybe pass it to the creative team for next year. Yeah, that'd be something.
Absolutely.
It's
not too late.
It's not too late.
I'll make a call.
All right. So you were gonna change the old branding for this year.
The caterpillars. Yeah.
Yes.
Bring your own caterpillar. Let's say that, or maybe not. Don't do that. Cecilia, I mean, it's hard to talk about transformation without thinking about the future. And the future means next generation. It means the new thinkers, the startups. So tell us about what can we expect this year for the sandbox and everything that RSA conference always been famous for that. So to give the opportunity to the new ideas.
Well, thank you, Marco. That's a great lead in. And yes, this year is very exciting. We actually had the most amount of submissions for the Innovation Sandbox contest this year. So we're super excited. The slate is strong. It took the judges a long time to actually select the companies. We're announcing it soon. So we'll just make this a cliffhanger. But I can tell you that it's a really strong slate of startups. And the other piece of this is also that early stage expo area. And we were able to, as we have talked in the past, we were building out the structure and the spacing for conference to make sure that we were reacting to what was happening in the world. But we're kind of excited to see that there's a change. And we were actually able to up the amount of early stage expo companies to 35 from 30. So there's a lot of really cool companies coming into that space. And I'll add in the sandbox part, which is where we bring in the villages, a lot of the DEF CON villages, and we are bringing in 2 new villages to the space. One is on AppSec Village. Really excited about what they're bringing in. They have a lot of creative new ideas. They want to have book signings and conversations in their space. Really fun. And then the other one is Dark Arts Sandbox, and it's generally the Red Team Village group that's putting this together, but again, they're coming and they're going to bring some really interesting hands-on activities. So fun is what's happening over here, and it's all new.
Did you say Dark Art?
Dark Arts Village.
Not Harry Potter.
Yes,
not Harry Potter.
I am a big Harry Potter fan. So when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God, there is going to be
up. Right."
But we're also having some of the other villages, and I just want to highlight, it's the ICS village, which we've been seeing so much in the news right now about what's happening with the malware attacks on our critical infrastructure, the IoT village, and several other villages, and SANS Net Wars. So it's going to be a really good space.
Loads of stuff, and I mean, I was looking through again the whole agenda and the. I mean, there are programs and all kinds of stuff, but I want to get kind of the big picture from you, Linda. I mean, when I look at it, I always look for diversity in general, and that goes from topics to speakers to types of sessions. Are they presentations or panels? And so maybe, I don't know, this might cross over to some of the stuff that Britta looks at as well, but just generally speaking, the connection, I'm thinking like academia and government and industry and researchers and all this stuff. Maybe your view, Linda, first, and then Britta's content perspective on that.
Yeah. I mean, the great thing about RSA Conference is that there is something for everyone, and I know Britta and team work so hard to make sure we are looking at that big picture view when we pull together. I think we have 24 traditional session tracks this year, literally covering the gamut from kind of the more strategic kind of CISO suite tracks to the more hackers and threats kind of session. So I think we really do a good job of trying to cater to everybody. Britta, do you want to add some more color to that?
Yeah, and Sean, I really appreciate your characterization there. We call that capital D diversity, where diversity is not single dimension. And diversity is super, super, super important within our industry because, we have stronger defenses when our defenses, are representative of everything that we are. And RSA Conference, I almost think of conferences, little think of it as Venn diagram. I can't help but talk with my hands. So I'm glad we're on video here. Right? I've got the caterpillar, I've got the butterfly, but a Venn diagram. And you've got great work that's done in policy, great work that's done in legal, great work that's done in privacy and this and that. All these circles that are our ecosystem. Right. RSA Conference, the power of it is it's that overlap in the Venn diagram. It's that water cooler conversation, if you will, that happens when someone who's passionate about policy has a in the hallway conversation with someone who's really deep in the weeds on how do we do DevOps differently, et cetera, and that's the power that is RSA Conference. It's the importance of bringing this whole ecosystem together so that we can have these big aha Venn diagram moments that really do change our industry, that really do change how our defenses are set up, that really do honor and recognize the importance of diversity. And I'll actually point to Cecilia's programs with students as a very key, very important part of this diversity, this next generation, and how do we make sure we take, embrace, involve, envelop this next group into what we're doing. And we see so much of that goodness in our community, that need to mentor, that need to involve. And I would just, give a big shout out to please take that opportunity at conference. When you look left, look right, see someone you don't know, someone in front, someone behind you in line. Make them part of your network. Reach out. And if you don't know them, great. Introduce yourself. If it's a young, eager-looking, sparkly-eyed student, please make them feel welcome because they're a very important part of our community.
Yeah, and Hugh Thompson always says, and it's a phrase we've coined over the years, that RSA Conference is the convening authority, and it's true. It's like it's that kind of one time when the whole industry gathers together. And I think that was an important point you raised, Britta. We were talking about it a little bit yesterday. I think now more than ever, people are just so keen to connect with each other. And take advantage of that great opportunity by having this convening authority, by having everybody come together and make new connections, because they're going to stay with you as you go through your career. And, that we all have people that we go back to, that we ask guidance from, and in turn we become mentors for other people, and I think there's a strong sense within our community of wanting to do that. So
and I want to go to Cecilia with the that supports society in a way that we want. We can't just adjust and drag along the next generation, right? We need to transform and enable and empower that next generation to maybe think differently and think ahead and help bring us all forward. So maybe Cecilia, if you can bring the scholar program perhaps, and maybe College Day and anything else that comes to mind in the context of how do we leverage the next generation and maybe even before that to help us prepare for the future.
Well, I'm glad that you asked that, Sean. It is something that I have a lot of passion around, thinking about what is the next generation going to look like. And when we built the program for the security scholars, it went with the intention of having diversity as the number one, as one of the number one criterias. And as Britta mentioned, I'm talking about big D diversity from, backgrounds and what they're studying to, where their school's located. And I'm proud that this year we actually have more women coming for the Security Scholar program than our ratio is over 50% women. So it's really exciting to see that. I do also witness what's happening in the industry writ large. So College Day was something that we're connecting with not just all the schools in California and asking them to promote it, but also with our sponsors that are helping us with the program and connecting with WISES, for example, and they're sending it out to their networks. And what we're seeing in the industry is the future is being laid down by a lot of people who give their volunteer time to connect with students coming out and coming up to the next generation. So there's a lot of, I'm really excited to see where we're going, and I'm glad for the question.
Yeah, I'm going to go from these back to what Linda says about mentorship. I mean, I'm actually just fresh into an amazing mentor group that there is so many brilliant people there that are from astrophysics to actually astronauts and people that have been writing books and about psychology and so forth. And I don't even know why I'm there, to be honest with you, but I'm honored to be there. But all the conversation comes down to be like, it doesn't matter where you are if you're not looking back. Remember when you started and you wish there was that person or that group of person or that event that kind of changed your life. Sometimes it's just a conversation, just a word. So I love to hear that. And I think that a really important part of it is the people that actually speak there. Because, it's not just a speaker session for very special people. I mean, we want this word to go out to everyone. And so I'd like to know from Britta, maybe, some highlights about these keynotes, because I know there's some really good one. And I'm looking forward to that. So
and interesting ones, like why would those people
be
there and be connected with each other?
Yeah.
I love the work that you guys do looking at and that's something I would definitely, for those listening, if you're going to be at RSA conference, spend some time looking through the agenda, strategically plan and plot your movement through. We're always purposeful as we approach the keynote program. This year we were perhaps even more deliberate in recognizing, to the theme of transform, there are amazing real life people who have real life amazing stories of transformation for good, transformation that's inspiring, transformation that's leading and changing other lives. Jessica Long is an amazing Paralympian who, oh, by the way, has a really amazing backstory and how she got to the point of being in the pool and being an amazing Paralympian. But wow, we don't need to bring in people who are playing other people in Hollywood. We've got amazing figures right here. Jake Wood with what he's done with Team Rubicon, and the inspiration and the real on the ground goodness that is happening because of his efforts. We have some amazing sponsors who are going to be delivering sessions on the South Stage. We have, as you mentioned, a variety of people that will inspire, will help us to all think differently. Some hopefully, provocatively so. How our words and our actions make a difference within our workplace and across the industry. We see people at RSA Conference and the conversations that take place, the ripples are significant with what we do as an industry and our ability to impact for good. Not just our security defenses, but how businesses are organized, with how different organizations communicate and work with each other. So I appreciate that you looked so closely at what we've been doing within the keynote stage, and I definitely would encourage people to attend and be inspired.
Yeah, and it's something we really put a lot of thought into. We want to make sure that these kind of big keynote speakers are hitting the right note, for the times, for the audience. And we try and provide a real blend of kind of the industry visionaries, but also the guest speakers. And as Britta mentioned, with these personal stories that, I feel like the whole thing this year we're going to go into it quite emotionally. I think being back together, seeing some of these inspirational stories, be it industry related or not, just knowing how we have all changed as humans over the last 2 years. I think it's going to be an interesting emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I love that you went there, because I feel like even in our conversation that we've been following for so long, the industry, I mean, it really is been changing. Like, it's about telling more stories that sometimes they're not necessarily and I'm happy about that, not necessarily the breach story, right? Or the cybercrime piece, which is important, but it's about how we're growing this industry and how, of course, we fill the gap and of course, the diversity factor. And looking at the agenda, again, there's a lot of diversity there. So that's really important. Anything that you want to add to that, feel free to do it. Cecilia as well, maybe for the including more people in the industry, if you have a couple of thoughts on that. And then maybe let's move into what we can expect different this year there from people that actually been there, and what is exciting for those can't even think that come there for the first time. So Cecilia, first to you, if you want to add to that, and then let's move to the picture.
Well, I think in general, like what we've created for the different moments where people can actually meet together. And I'm going to point to Britta for her learning labs, because that's a moment where we're learning and sharing together, and it's active learning. I think the sandbox offers the same thing, where you go in and you have active learning, but it's partly getting the conversation started. You have a point of connection because you're in the whatever village you're in, or running a CTF and going over into the lab over there. And I think we have those other pieces. There's a cyber ops. There are some networking pieces. There's a welcome reception. So I think at this moment, like what we want to see and what we're so excited about, why Linda keeps saying we're all smiling, is that it's the chance that we can help foster those other conversations that we're getting started. So Britta, I'll turn it to you to see if you have anything else you want to add on learning labs or birds of a feather.
Yeah, we have been very purposeful this year in trying to create moments, one to few, one to one, one to many, really thinking about the power of people being together. We have a digital pass for those who can't be there for whatever reason, so they can definitely benefit from the educational content programming from these really great experts who've spent a lot of time on really powerful programming. But we've also been very purposeful in carefully thinking through how do we create as many opportunities for people to really benefit from this FaceTime that we have. FaceTime's always important. FaceTime is really, 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 really important this year. As you know, we've all transformed professionally and personally, and some of the personal transformation has been bumpy for some of us. We humans need other humans. We humans benefit when we're willing to share with each other the wins and also the challenges. And that's another thing I'd really encourage people to, this is your community. We as a whole benefit immensely when we're willing to share, when we're willing to gather together, when our Venn diagram comes together, right? We're more powerful as a whole. And we are so looking forward to welcoming people together. We have birds of a feather stretched throughout the week of conference. It used to just be, breakfast and lunch. It's throughout. There's also space that's created as, informal networking opportunity. Go grab a table. You met someone. I met this Sean guy, super interesting, sat next to me in the session. I want to talk further to Sean. And he looks like a caterpillar, but I see a butterfly. I see a butterfly somewhere in there, right? But yeah, I want this Sean guy in my world for a longer time. I need to spend some time getting to know this Sean guy better. So this is your event. This is all about this community and celebrating the opportunity to bring people together. We've tried to reflect that across the experience that we've created for the week. We are so looking forward to welcoming everyone eyeball to eyeball, and don't miss the opportunity to get to know some new people.
I love it. And I know the answer to this because I asked before we started recording, but the physical layout, the Venn diagram of north and south and west, yep, and everything going on. Maybe Linda, just a quick overview. Does everything look the same? Somebody's been there before.
It does. It does. We're using all the same space that we have done previously. So from that perspective, it's not going to look any different. What might look a little bit different is that we're going to make sure there's plenty of space, that people don't have to sit on top of each other, that we are making sure we create a comfortable environment for people, because, coming together in such a large crowd, it can be overwhelming, especially when you haven't done it for a couple of years. So our aim is, two of our biggest aims are obviously to create a healthy, safe environment, but really a comfortable environment for everybody as well. So that's something that you'll see a little bit different. One other thing I just wanted to point out that is different moving into June is that the event is going to be 4 days instead of 5. So we'd made that decision to change when we were looking at last year's event that was going to be a physical event before we flipped to virtual. But I think especially since the pandemic, physical events I think are just becoming a little bit shorter. And we've also had feedback from our attendees as well that 5 days might be a bit too long. People don't want to travel on a Friday. They want to get back for time with their family at the weekends. So all these things have impacted that decision. But I also wanted to point out that it doesn't mean we're cutting loads of content just because we're cutting a day. We're just distributing it slightly differently. So there's the same depth and breadth of sessions, activities, everything. The expo doesn't change. We still have as many opportunities to earn CPE credits, which is really, really important for our community. We're just organizing things a little bit differently.
Nice. And speaking of comfort, I mean, I think I've been to, I don't know how many RSA conferences I've been to, but in January and February, March and April, and some of those months can be a little chilly. June might be a little more comfortable outside, moving between all the halls. So I'm looking forward to that.
Who knows?
Who knows? I know, Sean. I'm like, oh,
right?
It's the person from San
Francisco
is like over here saying, "Wait, we do have June gloom over here."
Do you want me?
Sweater. We are the city that needs layers. Just bring layers.
Do you want me to quote Mark Twain about San Francisco?
Yes, please.
It was the coldest winter has ever had. It was a summer in San Francisco, so you really never know.
Well, I just want to say, when I was there last week, it was absolutely beautiful. It was in the 70s, and it felt so good to feel a bit of sun. And lots of people said it may not be like this in June.
Well, we're crossing our fingers. No, we're crossing our fingers.
We're all crossing our fingers.
I can't tell you how many jackets I have from the number of trips that I've been to San Francisco. I didn't bring the right jacket. So
we were joking about that. Like, everybody that comes here has to go buy that polar fleece and with the little San Francisco logo on it.
Exactly.
That's the rule, right? You cannot get to San Francisco without the little, the cut vest.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm going to bring it inside though, because there are a lot of talks and presentations, and people get to submit those, and they go through a lengthy process to get selected and make it onto the official agenda. But that's just a slice of this community, and there's a whole slew of research and solutions and conversations that come through the expo hall. So I don't know who wants to maybe take a moment to describe what's going on there. Is that going to look the same?
Yeah, so I'll take this one. It's going to look the same, but it's going to be half the size it has been in previous years. And that's because we are taking a very conservative approach to planning for this event. And we're planning a physical event for around 21,000 attendees instead of the 42,000 we've had back in 2019. We're in a different stage of the pandemic, but we're not out of the pandemic. And I think it's important to note that. I think people have varying degrees of comfort in attending large events. So we're being cautious. From an expo perspective, instead of the 700 exhibitors we normally have, we've limited it to 350 this year. So we want to make sure that attendees and sponsors and exhibitors have an optimal experience, which means not having too many exhibitors and trying to match the number of exhibitors to the number of attendees. But you'll see all the same things that you have done before. We have the briefing center sessions. We have our welcome reception in there. We have the expo pub crawl. So we have all the things that people have come to know and love about the expo. It's just on a slightly smaller scale.
Nice. And I know, there's so much. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about two things that caught my attention, and then I think we'll start to wrap, because there's a keynote on words and actions matter. It's a CISO session, so I think being a change agent there, I think that's a conversation I hear a lot about, and I'm very interested to hear those two speakers talk about that. And the other thing I think a big trend obviously is applications and everything being API driven. And there's a whole, I forget what it is, what kind of session it is. DevSecOps by DevOps, I think, is leading that session. So I'm a big fan of AppSec and DevSecOps and that whole space. So that was another one that caught my attention. I'm sure everybody has their favorite track and path, and hopefully can.
Why don't we ask? What's your favorite?
Yeah.
Britta, I saw you were
pick favorite children.
No,
What kid do I love best?
You called me a
hold on. But I saw that you were about to jump in with an agent of change. So maybe that you want to add to it?
I am, Sean. You are a butterfly. You are no longer a caterpillar. You have completed. No, I am, and I don't want to steal any thunder from the Words in Action Matter one, because I do think it's going to be an incredibly impactful. It's two CISOs on stage together, sharing how changes that they made, and this was one. I worked with them on the development of this South Stage keynote concept, and it's two CISOs that honestly did not know each other previously. But I was hearing similar stories, the vantage point we sit at with an RSA conference and the great conversations we get to have with these, amazing experts and people from across our industry. And I'm passionate about this. How can I help to accomplish this? What do I do with this? So bringing these two leaders together from very diverse backgrounds, very diverse industries that they serve, to speak about efforts and actions they have taken within their organizations to really make a change, not just within the security function at their organizations, but really changes that happened within the security group that then became pervasive across the organization as a whole. And we're talking an organization like Starbucks. So I would really encourage people to attend that one. It'll be recorded as well. But this is the impact within our industry that we can and should be having. I think that'll be super inspiring. I won't pick a favorite child because I could never pick a favorite child. I will highlight, though, one area I'm super excited about, which dovetails nicely into the DevOps conversation that you had, which, there's big changes happening there with things like SBOM, with things like, how do we look at accountability within our software across and trackable and all of that good stuff. But we brought back we have a protecting data and the supply chain track this year, which is a really nice curated bundle of content that, again, when we look at some of the challenges that we're facing in industry, I think is very nice and representative. And they were careful with, there's technical elements in there, there's policy facing elements in there, there's organizational structure elements in there, but it's a really nicely curated collection of content in and around how do we protect data and keep the supply chain more integrous. So there's my picks, but they're all good. All the kids are good.
They're all good. No, they're all good. I wanna go ahead with a round of not your favorite, but what you're really excited about or looking forward to. So Linda and
so I've got one. Sorry, putting my hand up like I'm at school.
Yeah,
so I have to be honest. So at RSA Conference, I spend a lot of my time in the keynote room, in the West Stage keynote room, and I'm really excited about those opening keynotes, which I want to point out are on Monday afternoon this year, which is very different. It's because it's the first time you'll look around and see a room of nearly 4,000 people all together. So that's one thing. I think there's going to be an element of celebration to this, that we haven't seen or we won't have seen in the kind of way I think we're going to see this year, that kind of excitement of bringing people back together. We've also got something really special planned to open the conference, which I'm not going to say anything about. I'm going to keep it as a surprise, but it's just that experience. I think we're all going to feel like the thudding in our hearts when it all kicks off, and just experiencing that joy of we're here. Fingers crossed.
Nice. It makes me feel like how much I miss live music. So I'm hoping it's Metallica opening or something.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Wow. How did you know,
I mean,
Marco?
it's San Francisco. They're right there. Sean, you were commenting something. Sorry, I got excited.
No, I was just quickly going to say that I often feel that at the beginning of those conferences, RSA specifically, where that initial rush of we're all together sharing the same space,
Right.
hopefully aiming for the same objectives to make things better, and collectively coming together. So, Cecilia.
It's hard to follow Linda there. She did a great job kind of really putting it all together. And I am just excited, as my peers here on this call, just to have everybody come together. I mean, there's going to be a lot of really fun activities and a lot of points of connection for everybody to enjoy. So I won't even, I'll just leave it there. I mean, Linda left the cliffhanger. So I feel like we really should just go right there and say, you got to show up on Monday. If you don't show up on Monday.
And I don't take bribes either. So just for your listeners.
Marco does.
Marco. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'll bust around with a dish.
Well, we are going to be there. A number of our podcast network hosts are there. A number of them are speaking. Diana Kelly, along with Teresa Gao and Teresa Payton and Lisa Lee. They have a session. Alyssa Miller has a session.
Yeah.
Chloe has many, one with Camille Eddy and also our good friend Ryan Louie, who we met a number of years ago at RSA. And,
on a very important topic of mental health. Yeah.
Transformation of mental health. Exactly.
Yeah, I love Ryan. Everybody should listen to that one.
Yeah, Ryan's amazing. Yeah. And Chloe has many. And then Philip Wiley also has a session. So
it's going to be in Sandbox.
Yes. So a lot of great folks, of course. We're a little partial, a little biased, but a lot of great conversations from them. All of them will be obviously available on the RSA Conference agenda. I believe you can register to be part of them. I would encourage
reserve a seat now.
Reserve a seat, yes.
Get your plan in place.
Yep. And all of our stuff, everything we're going to do before, during, and after, we have a lot of conversations lined up beyond this one. Will be on ITSPmagazine.com/RSAC. Everything is there, even our host speaking sessions. You can link directly to those from there. And you'll find this conversation visually and audibly on that page as well. And Linda, Britta, Cecilia, it's so good to see all of you, and can't wait to see you all in person and to feel that energy again and to have those conversations again and to learn.
Yeah.
Look at this Venn diagram coming together.
That's right. We have to change these square rectangles into circles.
Britta, do your caterpillar.
Caterpillar,
butterfly, and hearts.
And hearts, exactly.
All right, everybody, we're so looking forward to this. Share it, because again, people can participate even if they cannot make it there. So that's something that we learned during the pandemic. There is room for both, and maybe even open the conversation to a wider range of audience and people that wants to come in the industry, and they honestly should. It's a pretty great community. Yep. So thank you again.
You bet. Thank you so much.
I love this tradition. Thank you all.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
AppViewX is trusted by the world's leading global organizations to reduce risk, ensure compliance, and increase visibility through machine identity management and application infrastructure security and orchestration. Learn more at appviewx.com. Modern application development needs modern application security. With our award-winning application security testing solutions, Checkmarx enables developers to securely accelerate their work. Learn more at checkmarx.com.
Black Cloak provides concierge cybersecurity protection to corporate executives and high net worth individuals to protect against hacking, reputational loss, financial loss, and the impacts of a corporate data breach. Learn more at blackcloak.io.
CrowdSec, the collaborative and open source cybersecurity solution. Analyze behaviors, respond to attacks, and share signals across the community for free. Let's make the internet safer together. Learn more at crowdsec.net. HITRUST is a leading data protection standards development and certification organization that strives to safeguard sensitive information and manage information risk for global organizations across all industries and throughout the third-party supply chain. Learn more at hightrustalliance.net.
Blue Lava is the first business platform for CISOs to manage their security program. Blue Lava guides security leaders to effectively measure, optimize, and communicate their security program with confidence and ease in one platform. Learn more at bluelava.net.
If you enjoyed this podcast, share ITSPmagazine with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our columns. Thank you for listening.